Good morning, Sri Lanka. Welcome to the show on a Monday morning. It's going to be a great start to a brand new week. And of course, I'm sure all of you are very busy with everything, getting ready for work. And if you have kids, you might be helping them to get ready for school as well. So there's so many things happening during this entire week. But today on the show, we have a very special guest with us. Now, she is Arundhati Sivagurunathan. She was with us on the show just a week back as well to speak about a new DVD that she has put out, which is called Are You a Step Ahead? And it's all about early childhood development as well as other aspects of child psychology that she has discussed in the DVD. And she is here again on the show because as a child psychologist, there are many aspects of how parents can deal with their children that we can speak to her about. So we have her today on the show as well. Good morning, Arundhati. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Once again.
Yes.
So how have you been since the last time we saw you?
Good.
Busy week with the DVD as well as your own school, of course.
Yes, been busy and hoping that the DVD will create the awareness we are thinking about.
So of course now this DVD will be out at all, is already out at all M Entertainment stores island-wide. So if you do want to see this video about are you a step ahead, a very interesting question there, then you do have to get yourself a copy if you are a parent, because it's something that you should really not miss out on. And speaking about questions and queries that you might have for Arundhati about any aspect of your child's behavior that you worry about or that you feel that you need some more expert advice about, we will be having her on the next couple of weeks on the show as well. So if you have any queries, questions, comments, do feel free to email us at mtvsports@maharaja.lk, or you can even contact us through our Facebook page. That's www.facebook.com/Good Morning Sri Lanka. Send us a message and we will be sure to let Arundhati know what your questions will be. Alright, so today's show we are going to speak about dealing with different behaviors in children, especially when it comes to their behavior in school as well as at home with their peers. Now in the first segment we are going to be talking about how to deal with your child if they have low concentration in the classroom. And this is something that's, I'm sure, very important and a worry for most parents, especially if your child is showing these symptoms. So let me ask Arundhati, what are the reasons that a child might be showing low concentration in the classroom? Is it mental or is it biological? What can be the cause?
We call this behavioral management problems actually, or issues. For the question you asked, it has two sides of the coin. So I will handle one side first. That is, generally all children have difficulties of focusing on task or inability to focus on task. It's a natural thing.
Children being children.
Children being children. So what happens is you need to give your child enough stimuli to focus on their or basically improve their focus. Focus and self-control are very two important key factors in learning skills or self skills. This is not only when you are young, but as you grow old, these are very important skills. So simple things like the I Spy game, how you play I Spy, because what happens is then the child focuses on the environment or the surroundings he or she is. Then puzzles are really good for your kids because it gives you your thought process a real kick when you're doing
one of those 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles that we used to do, was it? Maybe a little less.
Maybe a little less. We will start with just 2-3 pieces. And you need to always be with the child, and memory games, guessing games. I mean, these really help the children to develop the concentration power or the focus. Then the second side of the coin is ADHD. So ADHD is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So a child, generally the symptoms is hyperactivity, impulsiveness, very little focus, So if you diagnose your child or feel that this child has this kind of symptoms, you need to support it with the right cause, like the parent has to be involved, the teacher has to be involved, and there is treatment for this kind of disorders, because it's a very common disorder. And if you focus it on the right way, this can be, your child can be put back to the right track. And at the same time, you need to understand all children forget, especially their homework. They dream, they are fidgety, and they act without thinking all the time. But a child with ADHD will have these kind of symptoms constantly.
I see. That's the difference that parents have to look out for. I see. Okay, but do you find that sometimes parents go into denial about the fact that their child may be suffering from a disease like this and try to sort of cover it up and pretend that everything is all right, when in actuality there might be a problem with the child?
I wouldn't know. I really don't think it's denial, because as I said, it's very difficult to diagnose sometimes, because generally the child to really show these symptoms, they have to be about 2.5 to 3.
Oh, I see.
Right? So by that time, but that is okay, that is good enough. But if you wait till about 6 or 7, actually there is a bit delay of rectifying the matter. But if you earlier you diagnose it, it's the best.
The best for the child.
Best for the child.
Alright, so on that note, we have a small clip from your DVD which we have prepared for all our viewers today. So if you do want to see the entire DVD, you need to go and hurry up to an M Entertainment store and purchase your copy. But right now, let's go see this clip about early childhood development.
Hello, today we are here to discuss about learning disability. And here with us we have Mrs. Nitya Maheswaran, who is the director of Victory Studies Center. Hello Nitya, can you give us a brief introduction about learning disabilities? Learning disability means a disorder which comes under problems related to writing skills, reading skills, and other math solving problems. And how can you detect learning disabilities in a child? It can be mainly in 3 areas. First, you have to see the child's speaking levels, motor coordination, reading skills, and IQ level. All these should be identified. Their mental age and their ability about their level of curriculum should be identified early. What causes learning disabilities? We can correctly identify what are the causes of learning disabilities. It can be at a genetic level. Children will have learning difficulties. It will always be under prenatal or postnatal factors. It may occur when the mother is pregnant. The child may have neurological problems. It affects the brain cells. This may cause a learning difficulty. After the birth also, there may be a chance of environmental factors affecting the child, like malnutrition and family stress, which may cause the problem. And can you tell us what are the most common learning disabilities that you can find in Sri Lanka? In Sri Lanka, most probably 80% of the children have problems related to dyscalculia. This includes problem-solving skills and mathematics. And speech, does it affect speech? Yes, it comes under the disability. It includes speech level and motor coordination. Learning disabilities means a group of disorders manifested by significant difficulties in the acquisition and use of listening, speaking, reading, writing, reasoning, or mathematical abilities. And if your child is having a learning disability, how can parents and teachers recognize that in a child? In different views, according to the teacher's level, they can tolerate it if the child is poor. In academics also. In normal schools, teachers are mainly focused on problems related to behavior. They don't recognize that the child may have a learning difficulty.
I see. So concentration may also be affected by the fact that a child has a legitimate learning disability, right? And I picked up on one particular word that which is dyscalculia. Now, is this something that is this a disability that can affect your concentration as well? Just give us an idea of what it is.
There are many symptoms, as I said. Each disorder has different symptoms.
Okay.
So as we spoke about ADHD, it's a hyperactivity and low focus. So dyscalculia is different focus. But what I noticed is what Nitya actually mentioned was that when we identify this special need, we need to really work with the child, because maybe a child who goes to normal school, the teacher may not have that kind of attention or that kind of time to work with the child. So I think the parent, teacher, it's a joint effort to get the best out of it.
Because the home and especially the school are the two institutions that can really hone the child and make up recognize when disability is there. Of course, the parents and teachers play a great role, I'm sure. But if the child is maybe hasn't had adequate sleep the night before, or is hungry, can these things also lead to low concentration? And then, you know, can the routine of that particular child affect their behavior in the class?
Not if they are just hungry or sleepy or tired. So generally, if they are hungry, they cry. If they are sleepy, they cry. If they are not in a good mood, they cry.
So you'll know.
It's generally the emotional way of a child will always express themselves is through emotional outbursts, or I feel it's emotional manipulation, because the moment you start crying, the mother stops all her life and, you know, runs to the kid. But these kids, it's a different way of acting or reacting to the situation. They might not cry, they might be actually have more different behavior, more violent behavior towards their situation. So each disability will have segments of how it can be handled. So it's actually for a person in that field
to answer. But if we set aside children who have special disabilities and just talk about a normal child in the classroom, what is the ideal routine for a child of, let's say, about 7 or 8 years old, and a normal bedtime, normal meal times, things like that?
It depends on the child also. Some children need a lot of sleep, some don't. So it's up to the mother or the father or the caregiver to figure out what the pattern of the child is, right?
I see.
And the environment plays a big role. So it depends on how you the rules in the house, right? And who is actually giving enough care to the child, and who's the child with. All this plays a part. But generally, for a question, at least 9 hours sleep
is very important.
Very
for
important
child,
for a child.
Alright, so again we are going to speak to Arundhati more coming up after the break about how you can deal with specific behaviors that you can see in your child and how you can become a great parent at the end of the day. So do stay with us here on Good Morning Sri Lanka. We'll be right back.